All right, here we are for podcast number 10 for North Georgia Advocate. Sorry we've been off so long. We hadn't been on since December 16th, but we had the holidays with no meetings going on or anything. And then you had the beginning of the year, didn't have nothing really going on until January 8th. And that was the meeting where, we found out about the decision on the tax assessors, and then we've had a couple of more meetings since then. And another one's supposed to be tomorrow. I think it's been canceled because of MLK Day. I'm here with Brandon Reed. He's filling in for Viral while he is in India with his family. He's going to be over there through the middle to end of February. And
he's got a GoFundMe too, doesn't he? Trying to raise. He's got a GoFundMe set up. Trying to
he was talking about how his father-in-law is having to start leukemia treatments. He just posted on there if anybody wanted to help him. We got a link posted in the North Georgia Advocate group. I don't know how expensive that is in India, but I'm sure it's not cheap. I mean, it's probably a whole lot cheaper than it is here because they've got high taxes over there and they subsidize all their health care. That's why things are cheaper in all these countries, because they pay 50% of income taxes. And
we're close to that.
They're not paying for the health care out of their pocket when they go get it done. They're paying for it when they get paid every week.
Yeah.
They're prepaying. It's pretty much what's happening. But I don't know how. He hadn't mentioned any costs, and I don't even know if they know any costs, but he said it's been,
pretty rough.
They've been enjoying their time over there, getting to spend time with because all his family's over here, mostly. But his wife's family had never even seen their baby or anything. So they went over there and they was going to spend some time, and then, and then they're supposed to come back. But I'm sure it may depend on how the leukemia treatment's going or whatever. I mean, but the good thing about it is today, leukemia is not a death sentence like it used to be. If you get the proper treatment, you can live a good life. It ain't, it don't necessarily cut years off your life.
No, I've known a couple of people that's beat it.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep it in remission for years and years at a time. Yeah, So that's a good thing. Let's hope they caught it in time. I don't know a lot of details, but if anybody's interested in sending some money, just please reach out to us and message us, and we'll find a way to get you in touch with Viral to get the money to him. Every little bit can help. I sent him a little bit, didn't send a whole lot. But, every little bit helped. And probably when Viral comes back, Brandon's talking about wanting to stay on and do the podcast, and we could have a 3-man, or him and Viral do it sometimes, and me and Brandon, or Viral, just a little combination of all the three, so all of us aren't tied to it every week.
Yeah, I'm down for a threesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I've seen, I keep up with Viral there. Hopefully Trump ain't following him, so that way he can come back into the state. I know he's probably watching, so.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck, brother.
Oh, no doubt. That's hilarious.
Hey, and no jokes aside, you never know these days. Seriously. I know a lot of people from different cultures living here in the United States citizens that are afraid to travel to their home countries right now because they're like, I'm afraid of coming back.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, I'm a U.S. citizen. I was born here. I live here. But I'm afraid if I go out of country, they might not let me back in.
Well, and the only exceptions they have are for like athletes and political figures, like athletes, they got to come over here to make a living, and, or
I don't know those people.
Huh?
I'm just talking about regular people.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's no exceptions except for certain carve outs, and that's unfortunate because a lot of people can't travel like they wanted to, and we've got like over 60 countries now that don't even accept American visas or passports anymore because of what's going on now. I mean, it's a shame. And before I forget it, I want to go ahead and mention that we're going to wish the best for the owner of the Concerned Citizens of Hall County Group, Vicki Kennedy. She had surgery this past week on her kidneys down at Emory University, and we want to wish her the best and a speedy recovery.
Yeah.
You know, it's she's had kidney issues for a long time, and hopefully, you know, what they did in the surgery is will fix a lot of her problems. You know, you don't want anybody to go through what she's had to go through. I mean, having bad kidneys, kidneys are, you don't realize how important they are till you start having issues with them. I mean, it's like one of them things that where you just take it for granted. You don't.
As I whip out my Red Bull.
Oh yeah, damn organ failure in a can right there.
I know. It's bad. We're over here wishing her luck, and I'm over here killing mine.
But yeah, we want to wish her a speedy recovery. That group, everybody's been over there sitting on pins and needles, and they've set up a meal train and everything for her to try to make getting food to them and getting them help a little bit easier. So
good.
If you can donate to it, you know, it'll be much appreciated by the family and her friends, and it takes a lot of pressure off of them knowing that they've got money in an account that they can just order food and get it delivered to them through DoorDash, and it helps other people too. They don't have to go out of their way to physically go get meals or cook meals and take it all the way to them and take it back. And which for some people that's good. I mean, they love it, but for people that work or
risk getting sick too.
You don't want to take the sickness.
Me and you've had that bug for the past 3-4 weeks now.
That's one reason why we haven't had a podcast the last 2 weeks, because we've both been sick as dogs.
Yes, it's probably best not to prepare any homemade meals and just
because you may be a carrier and not even know it. I mean, because this flu bug is going around, boy, it ain't no joke.
Nope. It took me out, and I'm still not 100%.
I'm not either. I didn't have it as bad as you did, but I doubled up on Mucinex and Alka-Seltzer Plus and Theraflu and supplements, and I was taking zinc and magnesium and vitamin D, vitamin B12, vitamin C.
It's the 18th right now, and I know I got mine on Christmas Day. I know that for a fact. That's when my mom gave it to us all.
I started feeling it a few days after Christmas. My nephew come over here, and he didn't know he was sick. He called us 2 days after Christmas and said, "Oh God, I got the flu. I just wanted to let y'all know." And then it wasn't 2 days after he called, then we fought it off for as long as we could, and then it finally hit. And once it hit, boy, it hit. I don't get sick often, but when I do, it lowers the boom. I don't take flu shots. I don't take nothing.
Yeah.
But boy,
I didn't get a flu shot this year or a year before. When I was working at Wrigley's, I've been stubborn my whole life, and I said I'll never get a flu shot. And dude, every Christmas I've had family come down from Connecticut from all over, and every damn year I'd get a flu of some sort.
Yankees.
And I was like, I know. And I was like, you know what? I got a good immune system. It needs to be exposed to that. I'll suck it up and live. And there's a couple times it was rough. And after it happened every single Christmas, when I was working at Wrigley's, I was like, you know what? We get free flu shots at CVS. Screw it. What's the worst that can happen? And dude, I started getting a flu shot every year back then, and it definitely helped. I didn't come down nowhere near as hard as I did before. But then after I started this up, I still don't have personal health insurance. So I'm in the wild, wild west again, baby.
You need to check into that because it costs a little bit of money, but it's well worth it. I mean,
some health insurance, I know.
Yeah, see, I have to get mine through Obamacare because I've got diverticulitis and my son's got Crohn's disease. And if you go through Obamacare, I don't save any money off the policy. I misspoke. If I go through private insurance, my policy is about 3 times higher than what it normally would be because
Every month.
I've got pre-existing conditions.
Dang.
Now, and every 5 years, you got to be symptom free for 60 months. But when you got to go get tests every couple of years for your diverticulitis or your Crohn's disease, it starts that clock back over every test they give you. Mm-hmm. So you're never 60 months symptom free if you go to the doctor like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But if I go through Obamacare,
doesn't matter.
They don't hold pre-existing conditions against you. It's still high because you're in the higher risk because of the Crohn's and the diverticulitis, but it's manageable to buy to where I'm paying $890 something a month for now. It's like $3,500 if I get it not on the exchange. So I mean, it makes a big difference. I mean, I couldn't afford it if I didn't go through the exchange.
No, it's expensive out there.
I mean, who in the hell can pay $3,500? But
yeah,
it's better that even if I had to, it's better than getting $100,000 hospital bill when you get put in. And,
well, I'm telling you, when it gets to that point for me, I'm probably just going to fade off and go.
Well, the thing is, you go to a public hospital, I mean, if you can only pay $10 a month, then they got to take $10 a month.
I'm going to get creative.
Oh, yeah. You got to. Excuse me. But yeah, it's real interesting how things are going, and it's affecting our local races too. And I don't like to get into national politics a lot on this podcast because we're focused on local.
North Georgia.
And this ain't to start up nothing about anti-Trump or pro-Trump or anything else, but the divisiveness in the country, not just now, but in the last, say, decade, that's gotten worse and worse. And it causes ruckuses and fits in the local politics too, because you've got Trump supporters who will never support, say, anybody doesn't have an R by their name. If they're an independent, they're just flat out not going to support. Don't matter if they're a conservative or not.
Yeah.
It's like, Jerry Ramos, who's running for sheriff, he's running as an independent because he is a moderate Republican. He's a conservative. And he can't run as a Republican and have a chance because he's going up against Couch and gets 75% of the vote. I mean, so he's went Democrat last time and independent. And there's people out there just flat said they ain't going to vote for him because, I mean, they posted it in our groups that because he's not a Republican. Who cares? Trump's not a Republican. He's running as a Republican, but he's a blue blood Democrat. His policies are what old school Democrats like John F. Kennedy, and I'm not talking about the tariffs and all the divisive stuff he's doing. I'm talking about his tax cuts and his policies that he wants to implement. They're what old blue blood Democrats used to run on, like LBJ and John F. Kennedy and Jimmy Carter and those guys. But now the left just went so far left that he looks conservative. But you've got, and it shouldn't be that way. You should vote for the best candidate no matter what they got about, especially in local politics. Now, I understand voting straight Republican or straight Democrat ticket in federal elections and stuff, and even state elections. I mean, this state would be in bad shape if we wouldn't have voted for Kemp instead of Stacey Abrams. I mean, just for her policies. I mean, you understand?
But see, I'm surprised that the county sheriffs, I'm surprised that they're even running with parties
They
because
shouldn't. They're supposed to be nonpartisan.
yeah, it should be nonpartisan. But I've seen them pushing parties on their campaign pages, and I'm like, dude, all the mayor races and council races, they're all nonpartisan.
Exactly.
Because you need to represent all your people.
All judges, all council members are all nonpartisan, so it should be sheriff should be nonpartisan.
Yeah, it should be. It should be non-biased, nonpartisan, and it's in USA. You've got the right to be whatever party you want to.
Right.
The position should be ran as a nonpartisan.
But just because you got an R beside your name shouldn't guarantee you 70% of the vote.
Nope. And I've seen that recently. I'm not going to say where because it might pinpoint that person. But I've seen that in local politics south of here. I'll say that much.
Right.
Local politics south of here. You see people hide behind that party and wear it as a mask just because it's the majority of the demographics in that voting district.
Right.
So they'll run as Republican all day long, but got zero Republican ideals, and vice versa. And vice versa. You'll have some shady people go down to Decatur and Gwinnett and those areas and run as Democrats that really don't know Republican vote versus Democrat. They really don't. They just know they're in for it for themselves, and they know if they run as Democrats, they can get more votes.
Well,
and when they get in there, they overdevelop and they run however they want.
Well, and especially people like, I don't know if you remember it, but people younger, they don't understand that Nathan Deal and all the big older Republicans that are in office now, they were Democrats.
Yeah.
And they switched parties because the Democrats started going so far left. They switched in the mid 80s when Reagan got in, and got in office, in the late 80s and early 90s, they started moving parties.
Yeah.
From the Democrats to the Republicans.
Now, on the state level, I understand, the governor and the representatives at that level. Yeah. I understand because they are the ones making,
local
abortion laws. They're the ones making laws that actually affect your lives as far as a nationwide standpoint legally. But as far as what affects you and your neighbors and your property and your community, your local politics matter big time.
Exactly. You should be voting for the best candidate.
Yep.
Not for the party.
Yeah, because party issues don't even apply to a local level. Party issues are at the state and the national level. Seriously. Right. I mean, that's where the laws change. Now, you can have a voice as a mayor or council. You can have that voice.
Yeah, you can have conservative ideals.
It is, and it is good, and I get it. It is good that the leader the people represent, vote for. It is good that person has the same ideals as the constituents. That way there's a reflection of that representation. It is good to be on the same page, but at the same time, like I said, the national policies and laws and beliefs, it's not anything. It's not anything anybody can do at the local level.
No,
not at the city and county.
No,
the city and county. And
if we get rid of partisan local parties and local politics, it would make the voters
more
learn something. It would make them more aware, and they'd have to learn something about candidates instead of just, I'm just voting Republican anyway.
Yeah, because a lot of people asked me that when I was running for mayor, and they saw my man bun, and they're like, "Are you a Democrat?" And I'm like, I was like, dude, it's a nonpartisan race. I said, it's on record that I said it back then, so I'll say it again. I said, look, I'll be 100% honest with you. I've got a man bun, but I'm 40 years old, and I voted for Trump. I'm sorry. I'm mostly Republican. That's how I was raised. I said, but let me explain, because I graduated from Johnson. I've had a lot of friends from Mexico, from all over. We had, a couple of dudes from Iran, believe it or not, went to Johnson with us. I mean, we got we had a pretty good diverse mix at Johnson there. And I've had friends even after that, throughout my career. I've had friends from all over the world. And, when you're in a city or county position, you need to be able to represent all those people regardless of their party. And that's why it's important to be nonpartisan, because when
everybody matters.
When it comes to making decisions, permanent decisions that's going to affect your community, you need to be in touch with everyone in your community, not just one demographic, because that's the selfish way to be. I mean, it is, and I'm sorry.
That's one reason that minorities and people have a distrust of law enforcement, because the majority of them, and especially in this area, all the leaders are white. The Republicans, the Democrats don't have a vote, and it's changed a lot in the city council now. The city's got a good diverse mix of people on the city council, but in Hall County, it's all older white people. And
Gainesville's got some diversity going, I think.
That's what I'm saying. The Gainesville City Council, they're very diverse on their city council now.
Yep.
And it's not that way in Hall County, and it makes people feel like they're not represented.
And don't get me wrong. And don't get me wrong, because what I just said, somebody would be like, sending that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. They're like, oh yeah, that's exactly what a Democrat sounds like. No, that's not what I said. I didn't say turn around and bend over and give the minorities everything they asked for. That's not what I said.
No,
I said they deserve an equal voice as everyone else. There's a difference.
You do what's best for the community and all involved. You can't.
Yep. And like I said, you put it to the people. If it's a big decision that's going to be permanent and a drastic change, you put it to the people and try to get as much input. You go to the street, you put out pamphlets, and you get the people's opinion.
Well, the reason I bring that up is 2026 vote's going to be a big one in Georgia, because we're going to have a new governor.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a lot of seats up.
Yeah.
And the state legislature, and starting next year, we're going to start having more seats coming up on the county commission, the board of education.
What else we got from the local level that's going up for vote? We got Andrew Clyde and Sam Covillion.
Yeah, and Sam Covillion and Greg Poole's running for 9th district or 10th district.
Yeah.
Representative. And I'm not voting for Clyde. I don't know if I'll vote for Poole. I don't know if I'll vote for Covillion.
I'll tell you this, from my experiences running for mayor, Covillion's hitting the damn road, dude. Seriously, he's putting in the work.
He is.
Regardless if you like him or not, and regardless of what you like about what he's done with Gainesville, because there's a lot of opinions on that. Some people are like, Gainesville's turned to a crap hole. A lot of people say that. At the same time, a lot of people are like,
Gainesville's not as big a hole as everybody thinks it is.
No, it ain't.
It's just not the good old sleepy town that they like.
Well, here's the thing too. He's had a short amount of time in that position to make a big change when the population is rising as it is, with all the long-term businesses that's been there.
Well, the new mayor, Zach Thompson, the other day, I grew up with Zach. He's a friend of mine. And me and him don't agree on a lot of things that goes on in the city, and he knows that, and I know that. Me and him and his brothers had many talks about it. Ryan, that's used to be on their planning commission. And anyway, they asked him in an interview the other day, I'm kind of ad-libbing here off of memory, but they asked him what his plan was with the city, and he said, what people don't understand is, whether you like it or not, Atlanta's moving north. Atlanta's moving. It's already went into Gwinnett County. Now it's coming into Hall County. We can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Said we can't stop it. We just got to learn how to manage it the best we can. And all these people, and that was pretty good soundbite, because it's true. People moving into Hall County, we can't stop that. I mean, we can't put a moratorium on building, stop all building altogether.
No.
and you've got to find the best way to manage it. And these cities and the cities inside Hall County have all got to work together.
And like we said on another podcast, I think, it's a double-edged sword, because instead of a moratorium, the next thing that council and planners and all that do is they start increasing their their zoning, not the zoning requirements, but they start increasing the standards.
Yeah.
Which in turn drives up building prices.
Yeah.
Which in turn makes it more harder for new families to move in. And people are like, oh, there's nothing but $500,000 million homes around me. Now my property tax is going up through the roof because, well, what's the alternative? More compact trailer parks and apartments that you're opposed to? I mean, there's no happy medium for anybody.
Well, no.
And that's what sucks about those government positions that pay $12,000 a year. Because is it really worth the headache to get in there and say you're allowed, you're not allowed? Because damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah,
I've heard people on both sides of the fence argue it, and both are kind of accurate. I mean, you got people that say, hey, there should be zero growth right here at all. Then you got a diehard American on the other side, same team, but he's on the other side of the podium saying, well, what about property rights? Are you telling that man what he can and can't do with his property and what he can and can't develop?
And as long as and that's what these people don't understand. They get mad at the county commissioners and the city council for approving stuff. But if it's in the 10, 20, 30-year comprehensive plan,
and
they have to approve it.
Yeah.
If they don't approve it, then they're going to take them to court, and they're going to lose a court battle.
Yeah.
And that costs the county more money. I mean, you may not agree with it, but if it fits the land use plan and the 30-year
growth plan,
I mean, they have to approve it.
Yeah.
That's just like they can say, like,
because if I don't,
David Gibbs and Greg Poole said, we don't agree with this, but it fits the land use plan. We have to approve it.
Yeah, because if I don't approve yours, but approve Johnny up the roads, guess what? Now you're going to come at me with a damn discrimination or something. You're going to come to the city, especially if it's the same exact business type and category for mixed use. You're going to be like, what in the heck?
Yeah, well, it's just like Tyler Crawford, for example, and he's mentioned this online several times, and he won't mind us mentioning it. He fought for 3 or 4 years to get his shop built behind his house.
Yep.
And it's because Richard Higgins, one of his best friends, the old chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Richard Higgins, one of his buddies lived next door, and he didn't want that farm. He didn't want that building built. So he didn't get it built.
Dang.
But as soon as David Gibbs got in, Gibbs got the hell out of the way and let the commissioners vote how they needed to vote with the land use plan. It ain't coincidence that as soon as Higgins was out of office, Tyler gets to build his barn and his business.
No problem. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't increase traffic. It don't increase nothing. It's not like he's got tractor trailers bringing in metal and
no.
I mean, it's a small business, and you don't even know it's there unless you know it's there.
Yeah. Like we said before, at least that permanent, semi-permanent structure, look at the alternatives. Well, if he sold it to a developer and now you got a gas station going there, townhomes going there, now you're really going to be mad.
Oh, yeah. So
you got to weigh your options.
We got to think about this as citizens. What goes on nationally does not always affect you locally.
Nope.
And what goes on statewide, it affects you more locally, but it don't always affect you locally. Now, it could down the line affect you locally. That's why you got to be aware of it.
Yep.
And you can say, hey, we don't want what's happening in Gwinnett County or in Lamar County or Troup County or wherever happening here.
And see like I said, what I've seen, what I've observed from other people campaigning is, man, they'll take those national level issues and they'll take those parties as masks and they'll put it on and they'll run around the local level saying, hey, we're here to save your
See, and that's my
XYZ.
issue with Sam Cavillion, as he's doing the Andrew Clyde thing, MAGA, 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 I'm going to hold up Trump's ideals. Well, I don't want you to hold up Trump's ideals in Washington for our district. I want you to hold up what our community wants. See, that's why I like Rand Paul as a senator from Kentucky, but Thomas Massey, who's a representative from Kentucky, he votes what his constituents want. It doesn't matter what don't matter if he agrees with it or not. He goes and talks to his people, and if they want him to vote against something, then he votes against it.
Yeah.
That's what he's elected to do.
Well, I know. I hadn't really, I don't know. I need to go back and look at his page and see how much of it he's pushing that on, because I know, I'm sure a lot of different MAGA chapters are inviting him to speak. I'm sure of that, because that's what's going on. You know, that's where Corey and
Tyler and
no, Corey and Mark Turner.
Mark, yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a MAGA event, but you can read the room, and you know, so everybody gets invited. It's just when I was here in Brazelton, a lot of people were surprised that I was the only one invited to the Democratic ones as well. So you saw, you know, on my page, I was at a lot of Republican events, but I was also at some Democrat events because, like I said, I wasn't opposed. And I think that's the problem, is a lot of people are just uncomfortable when they've already been very public about which side they lean on. They're not comfortable going to the other party because, you know, I mean, they're just
right.
In my opinion, they ain't got the fortitude, if you know. They don't go out there because they're not courageous enough. But like I said, I was willing to, and I told them all. I said, I'm here because you're in my community.
Well, yeah.
And as long as you're in my community, I don't care what party you're on, because both sides, and I told both sides this. I said, you're aware I'm going to both parties. I said, but let me share something with you. When I make it clear which federal issues we can't control, both parties start bringing in local issues to the table, and it all revolved around taxes, traffic, overdevelopment, and both parties agreed. And both parties have good ideas on how to combat that and how to grow with a slow pace to keep up with the demand, but still, you know, not shoot ourselves in the foot. So that's what sucks about local politics, is that most of the leaders, they know the divisive nature of the party system, and they use that to keep us fighting each other instead of working together to get this.
Exactly.
And they don't want us to work together to get those results, because look what happens. I mean, we've got all these advocate groups here, and they don't like it.
No.
Y'all are informing the people, and you're putting the people together. And at the end of the day, if we can make the right engagement and get the right attention, those will turn into votes.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to get the hell change we needed here.
Well, yeah. And with that said, let's get into the local issues that have messed with us the last 6 months. Everybody knows about the planning commission got caught having illegal meetings. Georgia. They only got them for a year because that's all the video they had. You know, if they'd have had video for 2 or 3 years, 5 years, they'd have caught them probably doing it back for, you know. And anyway, they had the hearing on December 17th or whatever it was, and the people, Frank Sosebee, Stan Hunt, and Chris Braswell, their attorney told them not to show up and defend themselves.
Yeah, I was there.
He would defend themselves, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all the evidence was presented. For anybody that wants, we're not going to go over it page by page or anything on this podcast, but I've got it all posted in the North Georgia Advocate Facebook group. and I'll eventually, in the next few days, have it all posted on the website. At North Georgia, NGAdvocate.org, but you can read through all the details. But anyway, they found them guilty. Everybody testified. I mean, the staff members testified on the stand. They went, and they admitted, they told them that the meetings were illegal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they kept quoting and said, hey, we've got 3 here, so I'm not here. They knew their meetings were illegal. Then they want to come out and claim that they were never trained. They were ignorant of the Sunshine Laws, which are the Open Meeting Act, where if you got a quorum, you got to advertise it to the public and record it and do everything like you're supposed to at the regular meeting. And they tried to play stupid.
Oh, yeah. They still are. Ignorance of the law does not mean you're innocent. Nope.
How can, like Braswell, how can you be in his office 22, 23 years on the planning commission?
If anything,
and not know the law?
If anything, that's worse. That's worse. And it's, in my opinion, pretending to be ignorant to the law is worse than just admitting guilt and just
Well, that means you didn't have enough pride in your job to learn the rules and the etiquette and represent us the way you should have represented us.
Yeah, it tells you that. It tells you if you don't know the rules, then what the hell are you doing in there?
I mean, how can you rule on what's good for this county if you don't even know the rules you're supposed to be following?
Yep. Oh,
so
yeah. That's bad.
Stupid, and
that is. It's all just smoke and mirrors.
Then this guy tried to get up there, Tony Powell, their attorney. He got up there trying to take this like it was superior court, like a court of law. This is not a court of law. You don't have to. It's kind of like when you go for discovery, like you're in a court case, you go to discovery, a lot of stuff can get admitted to the other side and brought up in discovery that'll never make it into the court.
Yeah.
Because you're not held to the same standards.
Yeah.
And that's how this hearing was. And they knew it going in. They tried to claim that Greg Poole and David Gibbs had stated publicly they was going to fire them, blah, blah, blah. They never stated that. They said they need to have this hearing so they could find out whether they needed to be fired, whether they need to be kicked out of their job. Well, anyway, fast forward, they get found guilty, and the guy recommended they be removed from the planning board.
Yep.
It was a contentious meeting. Tony Powell got up there trying to act like he was an old Southern Baptist preacher, trying to put God into it, saying there's God-fearing Christians and
a lot of
Bible verses and all this stuff, and trying to he was trying to run interference and put religion ahead of the crimes.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he had done mention before that they were going to sue Greg Poole for what he said in the papers. And after it was over, they voted 4-0. Even Kathy Cooper voted to
I saw that.
Kick him off. Billy Powell didn't have the guts to show up. He didn't show up at the meeting before.
Nope.
That Monday, so they could go ahead and approve having the meeting, approve the agenda and everything for the work session on the Monday. And he didn't even show up for the Wednesday session for the hearing because he was told people he wasn't going to have a part in firing his friends from the planning commission. Well, you got to put personal, was like David Gibbs said in that meeting, he said, I'm friends with every one of them people. Yep. He said, I'm hoping, he said, this has nothing to do with friendship. This has something to do with business.
Yep.
He said, if you don't do your job, you don't keep your job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He said, and I hope if I didn't do my job, people would want me out of office. He gave a good speech, and you need to go back and listen to it. He did a great job. and he laid it on the line, and he was very convincing, and you could tell it was he said it with conviction. And then Greg Poole got on there, and he just flat laid in Tony Powell. I wish Poole would have been like this whole time he was on court and calling everybody out. Kathy Cooper and Jeff Stowe and them and Billy Powell wouldn't be voting the way they're doing. He raised hell at them after the votes. That don't matter. They done got the votes in. You got to raise hell at them and call them out before the votes happen.
Yeah.
And anyway, he just flat told them how it was. He said they lied, they cheated, they stole. He said, you know, it's costing, at that point, it cost $75,000 or so for the county to defend themselves and to do all these investigations and everything. And he just flat told that Tony Powell, by God, I've heard you want to sue me. By God, bring it on, because sometimes you mess with a bull, you get the horns or something like that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty much the gist of it. I thought if Tony Powell had been standing in front of him, I thought he'd have probably slapped the taste out of him, man. He was mad. I mean, I ain't seen Poole that fired up in a long time. I mean,
I think he's still fired up, ain't he?
Oh, yeah. I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's still fired up.
And they're sitting there accusing people, as they saying, oh, the people up on the county commission knew that we were having these meetings, and some of them may have. I ain't saying Kathy Cooper and Stowe and all. They never even opened their mouth. They didn't say nothing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've noticed a lot of and hell, if we're gonna be honest, and of course it is, it's in all municipalities right now. There's a lot of shady stuff going on.
Oh yeah, it's all
even in different departments. There's a lot of shady stuff that everybody is aware of in whatever field we're discussing. All right. So like in any of these political environments, the local levels, there is shady stuff going on in all of it. And the bad thing is everybody under that roof knows what's going on.
Yeah,
but here's the thing though. The thing is, and I've noticed this when I was working at Wrigley's. All right. So, and because this is important, because you've got a lot of people in all these advocacy groups I'm in. You got a lot of people that'll jump on these employees that knew about it and said, how come they didn't turn them in? How come? Here's the issue with that. A lot of times the people that you would report the issues to are the ones that are guilty.
They're guilty, yeah.
You don't know, and this is you don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
That you can report to actually get some action done and your job still be safe, because a lot of times that employee is the only one that knows about it. So if word gets out and the details are very specific in the case, and they fire this commissioner or sheriff or anybody, and they use a specific detail and say, okay, this is why you're getting fired. Well, guess what? Now you're putting that whistleblower's life in jeopardy.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing. A lot of people aren't, and it's not that they're protecting anybody, and it's not that they're comfortable.
It's not themselves.
And it's not just that. They're protecting their family, because they took this job to provide a livelihood for their family. They didn't know they're joining the mafia. They didn't know they're joining the most corrupt swamp in Georgia. They didn't know any of that. They look at the times we're in. A lot of people are still getting laid off and hard to find jobs. So when you've got a decent county job or city job, and you finally you finally get the blessing. I mean, that's a good job for any role.
Oh, any government job's a good job.
Yeah. So when they finally get into that position and they can build an opportunity for their family, and then now they're somehow, at the coffee in the break room there, getting coffee, and they start hearing what's really going on upstairs, they're like, holy crap. Well, I don't want to put my job and my family at risk, because if I get fired from here as being the one that ratted them out, I'll never get hired on in this field ever again. And they most likely won't.
No.
Because other swamps are going to know that so-and-so was a whistleblower. We don't want that in our office.
Exactly. Well, and that's why I find it hard to believe that I'm not saying these people knew anything about it, but it's hard to believe that Zach Probst and the county attorneys and everybody else in that office didn't know something was going on. And I'm not saying this particular instance, but they've been in that office 4, 5, 6 years, some of them, and they've had to know, because this ain't just been going on just the past year. They just got caught. And it's hard for me to believe that everybody in that planning office and on that county building over there at Hall County Planning that's in those offices didn't know something was going on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
hell,
they may not have known it was illegal because it's been going on so long. It may have been going on 10 years, 20 years.
That's what I was going to say. If they're showing up with donuts acting like business as usual.
Yeah, I mean,
they're probably like,
it's been going on, then nobody thinks twice about it. Oh, everybody walks, they're just having a meeting before they go into the real meeting, no big deal.
Let's be honest. Hell, probably 75% of people in all these groups wouldn't have known it's illegal until Tyler and Jody and everybody put this all together.
Exactly. So I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying that other people knew it was going on, and somebody in charge, whether it be the county attorney or the county administrator or whoever, they should have been open enough and non-biased enough for people involved that wanted to say, look, this is going on. We think it's illegal. It needs to stop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And not have to worry about the job. You got to have somebody in those. And again, I'm not saying Zach's guilty, Zach Probst, or anybody, or the county attorney. I'm just saying it's hard to believe that at some point somebody in that office didn't know that what was going on was not right.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the thing is, corruption's just gotten to where it's so commonplace.
It's there.
None of them. I mean, it's like in Washington and everywhere. A politician gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Now there's no consequences.
Nope, they're still getting lifetime retirement.
There's no consequences to anything that they did. I mean, and
if they were to seize assets and drop that net worth down to zero.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee it'd start cleaning up.
And and back to the meeting, Greg Poole went off, David Gibbs went off. Poole wanted to rescind some of the votes that the planning commission made that was controversial votes, because they had meetings before specific dates and they set up, okay, Frank, you bring it up, I'll second it, and then you vote against it, and then at the end we'll still approve it. Blah blah blah. They had a whole game plan going on, and that was before a lot of the crucial votes. And if they wouldn't have got together and planned this, some of the stuff may not have passed. And to keep the county from getting sued from the people, Greg Poole wanted to rescind those approval votes and then have them resubmit their plans for free. Wasn't going to cost them any money to resubmit it. Then they'd go back to the planning commission, then it'd go back through the county so they could do it the proper way. Then Jeff Stowe comes in there and takes it over and tells him how to write it up. And then he's the one that puts it up he hijacked it from him so it wouldn't get approved pretty much. Anyway, it was tied 2-2, so the votes were still standing. It was going to get voted down anyway, but it's just the principle of it. You know who the swamp is.
Yep.
The three amigos, Cooper and Stowe and Powell, And then to top it off, we found out today or lately yesterday evening they filed an appeal of these charges.
Yeah. For the
They're dead to rights. They've been found guilty by 3 different independent people. And
they don't agree.
they're taking this to Superior Court. It's been filed so quickly that you can do the online court case search and it's still not even in the system. So this had to be done Friday sometime before close because it won't be in the system till next week sometime. And they don't have a court date. And these 3 people, you're talking that Tony Powell's probably charging $400 to $700 an hour.
Or more,
Yeah. Because good attorneys were charging $500-600 an hour in this area 10 years ago,
for regular people.
And you got to look every 8 hours in court, that's $3,200. That's not counting the time it takes to prepare for it and all. So, they're a good $75,000 to $100,000 into this.
Oh, yeah. Because
$1,000 a year job.
Because here's the thing. It's no different than the contracting world. When you get contractors that land, and here's the analogy. When you get contractors that land a government job, they milk it.
Oh yeah.
So what do you think these lawyers are doing on any side of this case?
Well, Powell couldn't milk it too much to start with because he was under such deadlines. But now he's going to start to milk it.
Why not?
And we've been told by a couple of people who the money man is behind it, but we don't want to bring it out until we can prove it. They're not paying for this out of pocket.
I ain't privy to that information, but I ain't gonna take no guesses, but
they're not paying for this out of pocket because ain't none of them this rich.
So they're all this. So the money man's definitely benefiting from the 3 amigos.
Oh yeah, it's
No, I ain't even gonna say it. But
it's gonna be.
Let me rub my crystal ball.
Because eventually it's gonna come out who it is. I'm not saying by me or by anybody, but it's gonna come out eventually.
Oh, I'm sure.
And if I was the judge, if it was legal, I don't know if it is, they ought to be able made to find if they're fighting this, they ought to be paying for it out of their own pockets, not somebody else.
Here's the thing. Here's it kills me because I get it. Because like I said, I believe I'm a true American, right? So I mean, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for entrepreneurship. I'm all for property rights. So yeah, I'm all for people that want to buy real estate as an investment because it is a good investment. There's never going to be more land on this earth.
No.
There'll never be more land. So real estate has always been a solid investment. Always been a solid investment.
It may bottom out for a little while, but it ain't going to be bottom that long.
So I'm not against it. But here's the thing. There's still enough land in the United States. I mean, now there's a lot of international buyers. So, I mean, it's a lot more competitive now and prices have gone up a lot. But diversify. Get the hell out of Hall County, man. Y'all saturated it the hell out enough already. Spread your wings, and they are there. I guess it's all out through Athens and everywhere now.
What they're doing now is they're incorporating in Delaware and these other counties who don't make you declare who's members of the corporation.
Yep.
And everybody says, "Oh, they're all out-of-state builders." No, they're not.
They're just using
out-of-state builders. They're just incorporated in another state,
and for tax reasons too, probably.
Oh yeah, and it's just to the point of where these 3, and I'm not going to say these 3, but anybody that sues to keep their job shouldn't be able to be financed by somebody. And it's probably against the law if you look into it. I'm not sure, but it's almost impossible to prove. I mean, hell, they could be meeting them with a big bag of cash and letting them go to the bank, or they could pay cash to the attorney or whoever. I mean, you can't stop it. I'm just saying.
Yep.
But why are they fighting this hard for a $12,000 a year job? They don't get per diem or anything. If they go and look at property, they don't get mileage. They don't get nothing.
Oh, I know. No insurance.
It's not that important of a job either.
Nope.
They just make recommendations to the. Now, it is important because it makes all these builders and developers get their ducks in a row before it gets to the planning commission.
It does.
Don't get me wrong, but the planning staff does a lot of that work before it gets to the, and if they were never even around, the county probably wouldn't even miss it. If it was me, if I was the county, I'd just disband the planning commission altogether. Let them go to staff, and if whatever the staff recommends, it'd take it to the planning commission. That's what's happened the last couple of meetings, and it looked like it was working pretty good.
Yeah.
But it takes one layer of possible corruption out. Now the question is, I've always wondered, Stan builds cabinets and Sosebee's got a construction company. How much work did they get off of these jobs?
Well, there's some flooring
And I'm not saying that they got work directly from the plan submitted to the planning commission. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the people that they rub elbows with and who they get to be friends with. That's why they want to keep the jobs, because it opens up doors and avenues that they'd never get if they were not, and that's not how it should be.
No, it shouldn't. I can tell you this from my mayor run.
It matters.
Oh, it matters, because I promise you.
It matters. I know several people that are members of the Chattahoochee Country Club. They can't stand it being out there.
Boy,
they have to, because of the businesses they're in. It opens up doors to everything else that they're.
Yep. Because once it got closer to election day, there was a couple developers that started trying to get real buddy with me.
Oh, yeah.
And I even told them, I said, dude, I know what projects you are behind. Stay away. He goes, I will, but once you get in, I said, no. I ain't talking about my public image for the vote. I'm talking about period, dude. I said, no offense. And it's nothing personal. I said, but you and your agency are the exact people that my people don't want in our town. I said, I'm going to be up front with you right now. If I get in, and that's probably, hell, that could be why I got shot out the water, because I pissed off the wrong developers. But I told them, I said, dude, I said, I'll be fair and I'll be honest with everybody. I said, if it's zoned for that use, you'll have the same opportunity as every other developer to put that where it goes. I can't make any promises, and I'm not going to be buddy with any of y'all. You all have the same opportunity when the time comes, and it'll be as fair as we can make it. But I'm not going to be friends with everybody and just give an open door to the city to put whatever you want, wherever you want. Right. That ain't going to happen. And they didn't like that, dude. They respected it, which is funny. They respected it. You can tell, but you could also see they immediately switched gears. Like, oh shit, this ain't our guy.
All right,
But they respected it. They said that's fair.
Well, and that's what I like about Gibbs, is he's wanting to clean it up, but he can only do so much. Even Poole wants to clean it up.
Yeah.
But they're being outvoted 3-2. Nothing's going to change until Stowe or Cooper. Stowe's on it for another 2 years. Powell's on it for another 3 years. He just got elected again last year. But Cooper's up for re-election this fall. Mm-hmm. And we don't need Mark being on, because he's just swamp as the swamp is. Even though he's new to politics, he's got ties to Jensen Franklin at Free Chapel, who's got endless money. He's got ties to the Siphon family, the Casey Cagle family. He ain't just running for office for shits and giggles.
Dang.
They know that Cooper's on the rope, so they figured they'd throw somebody else into the ring, because they're taking Corey. They're not taking him serious.
Yeah, I need to post the videos up from the Del Webb discussion as soon as it cleans up.
See, Corey has got a well-known family in South Hall to all the locals. But the problem is South Hall's grown so much that
they've forgotten about it.
There's not locals down there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, nothing against Corey. I mean, he can't help his grown so much, but most of the people down there don't even know who his family was or is. And that's a shame because his family had a long-standing tradition, and he grew up in South Hall. They've been there for decades, for generations. And he's a good dude, man. He's got the best interests of this county at heart, and you can't say that about Kathy Cooper or Mark. You don't know enough about Mark to know what the hell he's going to do, you know.
Yeah, I definitely know from my campaigning. It's been, well over a year now. Corey was out there a year ago.
Yeah.
And he was at that point, he was still very well informed and knowledgeable of the job and what's required of it, and very, very firm on his position on it. I mean, he hasn't shifted to fit the needs of a majority of voters or anything. He's stuck with his principles. He said, "It's what I stand for," which is coincidentally what the majority of us stand for. We don't want unnecessary overdevelopment given to the buddy system. You know?
Yep. And and we've got a Board of Commissioners work session supposed to be on the 20th, Tuesday at 3:00. It's going to be interesting to see what comes up. There's been some developments. We had that big development going to be on Sardis Road. Had 400 or 500 slips for RVs and boats and everything else, and a bunch of condos and townhomes and business. It got pulled from the calendar. The developer pulled it.
See,
he knew it was going to get voted down in the climate that was going on right now. Brian Rochester, he ain't stupid. Then you got tomorrow evening at 6:00 at the Ramsey Center at Lanier Tech. The Nortons are having their forecast for what's coming up for 2026. They got a little meet and greet with cocktails starting at 5:30, and then they got their meeting starting at 6:00. Let me see what the name of it is. I got it right here. The Intelligence 2026 forecast. They're going to give the forecast of what they think is going to go on in Hall County and Northeast Georgia for 2026. Well, when you control most of the land and a lot of rental properties and all that, you can give a pretty close forecast, You know
what's going to get approved and not approved.
And they've got Frank and them, they got their thumb on the heartbeat. They know what's going to go on. And
I've heard he's got a crystal ball.
Oh yeah.
They said he goes by the Mystic. Because have you heard that? No. Yeah, they say he's got a little purple hat too, and he can predict the future.
Oh yeah, he's the wizard of Waverly Place, man. The Wizard of Green Street. And then Wednesday, we got the Hall County Board of Tax Assessors. This will be the first meeting of the new people elected. The first meeting, the January 7th, they've just basically sworn them in and got them acclimated. This will be the first meeting of the new Tax Assessors Board. Richard Higgins and AJ Zorzalo, or however you say their names, they got to complete all their coursework, and Richard Higgins, it just pisses you off. He was already voted out of office because the people in Hall County was sick and tired of him. And then here we got one of the three amigos, I think it was Billy Powell, puts him right back on the tax assessor. Higgins is 70-something-year-old. He can't even hardly walk, and you want to keep him involved. Crooked as a snake.
I don't even know why you need people at this point. Just have it all run off of Zillow. Give you your damn fair market appraisal value and fucking rate it at 20%.
They use that. I don't have it right in front of me, but they use
not the GIS or something, but
No,
something.
it's GMAS. They use GMAS, and that's all they do is run it through a damn algorithm, and it tells you what the property's worth.
Yeah.
And anyway, this will be their first meeting for the most part, and new appointees, they've got to do like within 6 weeks or 8 weeks, do a introductory class and do stuff. And then they got to complete 40 hours of classes down at the University of Georgia. And if they don't get certified and do those classes in a year, then they get booted, supposedly. And as of like November or December, there's still one member of the last group that hadn't completed their classes. And I'm sure they have by now. They'd have been booted or fixing to be, or I don't know when the 1 year started, but it's coming up pretty close.
Yeah,
and and we got these new people in on the tax assessors, and these are important positions because
they are. That's what affects us.
Because they're fixing to have they've got a big ruckus going on for a few years with the Lake Lanier Islands Development Authority and all that with Hall County and Gwinnett County. And you can't go in there and you'll get your ass handed to you by these lawyers and certified accountants if you don't know what the heck you're doing.
I know.
When you go into them type of meetings, and you'll get the county in a big mess. And that's why it's important you got to put qualified people on the board. I mean, I honestly believe you should have to have a CPA's license to be on
the
tax assessors. I mean,
and see, I agree.
Hard to enforce it, but because CPAs may not want to be on there. But I mean, there should be some minimum qualifications.
I agree with that. There should be some minimum qualifications. But I'll say this: I'm not sure. From my perspective, I'm not sure if that UGA course is something that I would agree with. Only because I know, and this could be controversial and might piss some people off, but the economic developments, each of these centers of economic development, I'm not talking about Chamber of Commerce or anything. I'm talking about these private entities like the Banks County, I'm trying to think if there's cities too. I know there's Walton County. But all of these economic development groups are private entities, and they all follow the same teachings from one man at UGA.
Yeah.
And it's basically taught these people how to take commercial and city-owned land and basically bid it out to the highest bidder, regardless of what it does to your community. Now they try and say, oh, it brings in more jobs and there's a trickle-down effect. And here's the thing: the original teachings may have been good and accurate for the betterment of the community, but from what it's turned into now, they're just selling out everything they can to whoever comes in with no regard to the future. I mean, and what I'm talking about is look at SK Battery in Commerce, who's constantly laying people off, always having issues with, I don't even know what we can legally say, but they're always having issues. And nobody looked into that when they moved in there.
Well, they got fined not long ago, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. And Kemp, he gave them the green light on that. Here, take all this, get all these tax abatements, do all this. We're giving county-owned property away. And here's another thing that I've told people. Look at, I want to say, I don't think it's Jackson County. It may be up above us. But Park 85, Industrial Park, county land has utilities ran. So this lot is graded, like huge water, electricity, sewage lines, all these lines, the utilities, the infrastructure is laid out. Who's paying for that?
Taxpayers.
We are. And they're turning around and enticing these large manufacturers, which that's who I supply is large manufacturers. You'd think, well, that's good for you. No. We've already got enough. They're giving this land away to these large corporations. And it's not about who's going to bring the most to the community. It's about who's the flashiest, who's the cool kids, who's going to take us out to lunch, who's going to butter my biscuit. And that's who we're going to give this property to, with all this groundwork already done, regardless of what's going to happen in the future. They don't care about the future. As long as they close that deal, the deal is done and their job is over and they move on to the next one. Now, here's the thing. If me and you want to go start up a business tomorrow, guess what happens? There's no freaking red carpet rolled out for us with utilities ran. Hey, Chris, we got you this prime 10-acre lot. We got you 8-inch water line. We got you this. We got you the sewer lines running to it. You ain't got to pay a dime. Hell, we might even pour a slab out there for you. Hell yeah, you're going to put a business out there. But as a private person, dude, you're going to drop $300,000-$400,000 just to get you to a point where you got a decent slab. And you might not even get to be able to walk in front of the council to even put your idea up there because of who we are.
Right.
If you're not in the system, you might not even get the opportunity to invest the money. If you had the money, you might not even get that opportunity because you're not part of the good old boy system. But if you are, boy, hey, it's ready for you. And guess what? We use SPLOST. We used all kinds of money and just paid for it, and the taxpayers can't do nothing about it. And guess what? Once you're in there and you got all this stuff going on, all these 18-wheelers, now those people that paid for it are going to start bitching about it, and there ain't nothing they can do about it because it's permanent. And that's the reality of what we're living in. That's the reality.
And on top of that, I don't think they can teach you in 40 hours how to do all that accounting and knowing what's going on and what's not. I mean, you know, if you go in there and not be having a finance background or something, 40 hours is just a drop in the bucket.
What is it? Just a week-long, 8-hour-a-day course?
I assume. I don't know any. I don't know 40 hours, and it's got to be done in person.
Well, I wonder if it's like a semester where they make you do like 2 credit hours.
I don't know. They can't do nothing like that online.
That'd be goofy. Well, they might be able to do it online.
How do you keep you from cheating? I mean,
yeah, but there's some on. You might be able to, but I'm sure it's in classroom.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's illegal,
this is important. I mean, and it's
if it's a legal requirement, you'd hope it's done in person.
Yeah, or I know, you know.
Because hell, he might have his wife sitting there doing it for him if it's online.
I know. And
I've known people that's done that with online college courses. They've had their spouse take the classes for them when it's online, and they ace it, and then they go in for the in-person test and bomb it. And they're like, you've been a perfect student this whole semester. And then Johnny gets in there, and he's like, I've never seen this a day in my life.
Yep. And then on the 22nd, we got the Hall County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. There's going to be a few things going up. I can't remember right now exactly what's going on, but we'll have the details up on the website and in our Facebook group of what is going in front of the Board of Commissioners on the 22nd. And then on the 26th, we've got the Hall County Board of Education regular meeting. They had to work on the 12th. They just put in for have e-SPLOST put on the May ballot. And that's kind of odd why they wouldn't wait to the November ballot. And I know why is because they know in the May ballot, only about 10 to 15% of the people's going to show up for the primaries. You know,
yeah, very little.
And they got a better chance of SPLOST passing because the last one that was on the major ballot, T-SPLOST, it got voted down by 60%, 65% last fall.
Well, sure, I was gonna say, I'm sure too. It's probably hit its deadline too, ain't it?
Well, they got till. Well, no, it don't go out till like July or August. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they had to renew before then.
but they could wait till November. No, it'll start next year. It goes through.
No, I mean the E-SPLOST.
The E-SPLOST goes through next year. It goes through next year. This will start taking effect in like July of 2027.
Okay, the one that they're voting on right here.
Yeah, and they but this last SPLOST, this regular SPLOST that just got passed, only 20% of the people showed up. See, and it passed with ease. They know that if 60 to 65% of the voters show up in November for the governor,
oh yeah,
now the E-SPLOST, it's liable to get shut down, voted down. They ain't gonna give it that opportunity.
I don't even think we're gonna see that many for the governor in November.
I do, because
I don't know.
Because Jeff Duncan's most likely gonna be the Democratic nominee, and he was GOP up until last year. He used to be lieutenant governor for Kemp in his first term. And it depends, but I don't think we'll have 60, 70% like we do in the presidential. We'll have 30 to 40% show.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It'll be few.
But for the one in May, they ain't gonna be 20% of the people show.
Yeah, no, May. You might see
not for the primaries.
Dude, mark my words. This May, you might see 6 to 8%. I bet. Seriously.
I think last fall we had
you'll get 6 to 8%.
You had like 14% of the people showed up last fall or something. You know,
we'll use it. It'll be the same as our sales tax. We'll just use that.
But the thing is, the E-SPLOST, it's not adding another cent to our tax.
No, it's just a renewal.
It's just a continuation of what we're paying.
And I don't care what some of these people on Facebook say. It's still an additional tax to the original.
Well, it is an additional tax because we'd be down to 4% if we didn't have all these SPLOSTs.
I know. And I've told people too, I'm not against the application of these funds and their intended purposes. Don't get me wrong. I'm good for an education tax. I'm good for a transportation tax. But guess what? We're already paying for those services.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. And I've told people, if we were to, and again, mark my words, by 5-10 years from now, we'll probably be paying 10% sales tax in Hall County. When you pay for something, it'll be 10%, real close to it. Now, here's the thing. I would be okay with all of these local option sales taxes if it replaced the property tax 100% with no stipulations.
They get rid of the property tax?
Yep. Yeah. No fine lines. No, if you're 28 to 30, no bullshit. Eliminate property tax and then give it a flat rate 10-11% sales tax on everything in the county and call it a day. And then I'd be okay with that. But the other issue is, which we've discussed this many times, it's not about, which it is to me because I'm cheap. It is about the amount to me. All right. But on top of that, it's how the money gets spent, because they pushed for this SPLOST the last time and they use images of kids in parks, skateboarding and on jungle gyms, having fun, swinging. But their priority is a courthouse.
Yeah.
Don't forget, it has nothing to do with the public's interest.
$150 million courthouse.
Minimum. You've seen Forsyth. We can't let Forsyth show up Hall County now. We got the chicken capital of the world here. We can't do.
Well, Forsyth County is one of the top 5 richest counties in the country.
I know. That's crazy too.
And the thing is, and like Hall County, when they build these schools, they go to a builder and these architects and say, "Oh, we've got $80 million.
Yep.
Give me what you can for $80 million." And that's the wrong approach.
It is.
You go in there and tell them this is what we need.
Yeah, here's our blueprints. Give me a quote.
Well, no, this is what we need. You draw up blueprints and tell me how much it's going to cost.
Yep.
And if it costs more than what you got budgeted, you say, "Well, we've got to eliminate some of this stuff." Then you can tell them what your budget is.
Yeah.
But before they know how much money you got, you need to just go in there and say, "Look, I need this. What's the cheapest I can get it built for?
But dude, do you know that's gonna mess up the good old boy system?
It used to be that way up until about 15 years. Used to, when I do
Bidding?
work for my dad in them's company, they didn't tell you that.
Yeah, the quote amount.
A quote amount. We got 80 million, or we got
Yeah.
50 million, or we got what?
It would be the job scope, and you got to bid it.
The job scope, and the architects would put it out from.
And see, if you underbid on that and you didn't read the full scope and you got that job,
And
boy,
you just got screwed.
Yeah, because you got to finish
bid it out to the architect. They give it to the architect. They give them the best value for the money. Then the architects would send out the bid to the contractors. To the general contractors, and general contractors would put the bids out for the subcontractors. And that ain't how it works no more. They've got 3 or 4 project managers that they use now.
Oh, yeah.
And in theory, the project manager system works because the project manager only makes like 4 to 5% of the total project. And if it goes over that cost, then they're responsible. Like if they got $80 million budgeted and it costs 90, then the project manager has got to make up the difference.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works because they over budget everything. It ends up being like in Hall County, you got 2 or 3 builders that build everything. It's not bid out. Well, it is, but it's the same 3 people bidding on shit,
Oh, yeah. The monopoly of contractors here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And,
it is.
So.
Because they know exactly what numbers need to come across that desk. They know it's not too low. They know it's not too
low. When I was bidding the commercial roofing contracts for my dad's companies, we was competing against the same roofing companies, for the most part.
For the past 20 years.
It would be funny. We all had it down to a science. We'd all be within $10,000 or $15,000 each. If you'd have like say you're building a $25 million school, the roof would cost $5 or $6 million.
Yeah, square footage and
you'd know, like say, to make. And when I say the roof, I'm talking the roof, the curbs, the metal work on all of it. I mean, it's all combined thing. I mean, it was not just the roof that keeps you dry. I mean, it was the parapet walls but say it cost, we'd all be within, say on $1 million job, we'd all be within $10,000 or $15,000 each other. If you had somebody that come in there lowballed, you'd throw that bid out because you knew they missed something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if they were real high, you knew that they were. I mean, sometimes, there'd be some bids within $2,000 or $3,000 each other.
If you're good in your trade, dude, it's that way. I'm the same way in machining.
I'll
put out some quotes now that I've got.
And a lot of it comes down to your supplier. Like with us, they use hot asphalt, which is petroleum based. They can only guarantee you price for like 90 days or 120 days. So when you put in a bid, they have to lock in that price because when they break ground on a job, on a school, it may be a year before you can even start putting the roof on.
Yeah.
It may take them that long to get it graded, get the slab poured, and get the steel erected and start putting the metal deck on. There's a whole process. It takes 3 years to build a school from the first ground, from the day they push the first bucket of dirt till they open it. It's 2.5 to 3 years to get it completely done.
Yeah,
people don't understand that.
They're doing the old Chestnut Mountain. I guess it was Royal Language Academy here recently off Wander Highway, but they, I think it's the old one's completely torn down now, if I ain't mistaken. Pretty sure it's Carol Daniels out there.
Oh yeah, that's a good old
PD.
I wouldn't let them build me a damn doghouse.
I couldn't afford a doghouse
for them. They get a punch list. They get the major work done so they can get the draws off of it. They won't ever go back and finish punch. when you got a construction company that builds the same schools over and over, because these architects use the same design, and you've still got a punch list this thick at the end of it, that means you know something's wrong.
You left off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they don't make money doing the detail work, so they do the major work, get their major draws, and then it's hard to get them to go back and do the punch list.
Yeah, just put up the bones in the walls and let's get out.
So, there's a lot goes into it, and that's what matters when you go, but especially with the Board of Education, they get 60% of our damn tax money.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some board members coming up for re-election in the next election or two as well. We got to start looking at getting rid of these Board of Education members too. The Schofield's fixing to be on his way out, and that'll be a great thing for Hall County. So, anything else you want to get into?
Yeah. The big news, because that's probably another reason my phone crashed out this weekend is my phone's been blowing up from Brazelton news over here this weekend. Friday, the mayor and council came together, and I'll bring up another point to this, but the mayor and council came together to put our town manager on administrative leave and said they're parting ways.
She's been in office. She's been involved, not in that office per se, but involved in politics for a long time, hasn't she?
I think 97 or 95.
That's been like 25 years or so.
In the same office there.
30 years or something.
Yep.
I mean, it's been a long time.
I think.
Plus, she got appointed to Kemp appointed her to the Oconee Development, not the Development Board, but some kind of
governmental
oversight for Oconee District or something. I mean, that whole area over there.
And she knows her stuff. And get this, so the announcement was made on Facebook, naturally. So that's where we put our news. And me being a formal mayoral candidate here, hell, I chimed in. And I said, this is a sad day for Brazelton because when I was running, I talked to all the neighboring jurisdictions, all the local cities, all local counties, try to get some insight on what I could do to make Brazelton better. And every one of them said, if you want to truly make Brazelton better and keep it going in the right direction and not turn into Atlanta, you need to keep supporting Jennifer Scott as your town manager and, trust what she tells you. And I told, and I'm very upfront and honest. I told everybody I was going in it unbiased, but the overwhelming amount of people that told me that reassured me. Okay, because come on, when you've got so many diverse groups telling you the same thing about a woman, I've got to take their word on it. And, whether you like her or not, when other people in that same position from other jurisdictions say, hey, we've learned a lot from her. She's taught us a lot about this. She's done this that you don't know about. It opens your eyes, and you got to consider that. So, I mean,
well, maybe she'll get a job in another jurisdiction or something.
I hope so. But I mean, when I saw that, like I said, I posted that and they blocked me for saying that. So what does that tell you?
It makes you wonder what the heck's going on.
Makes you wonder what's going on. But I kind of have a feeling
what were they planning on doing that she didn't agree with, and that she was going to stop if it was made public? There's 10 different ways this could go. Oh yeah,
and any one of them doesn't seem like it's going in the right direction.
Right.
There's something going on.
And she just didn't turn into being corrupt.
No.
If she's got this much respect from everybody and all that stuff.
And I'll say this. There were a few others that posted similar comments praising her for her service and her work here. And those comments of praise were met with threats. I'll say that there's some people out here that didn't agree with what they were saying and straight up threatened them, which is pretty messed up if you ask me.
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy.
So I'm like, that's all right. Y'all can block me and threats can be made, but no, that's all I got for you for this week.
Let's get the clean. But yeah, that's no big deal. But
Do you have anything?
It's gonna be interesting to see what comes out, because it'll eventually come out why she's been let go.
Oh yeah.
And is it immediately, or is it run through the fiscal year, or is it?
No, it's immediate from what I understand.
Dang. It ain't like she got caught running license plate numbers like the sheriff did.
Yeah, the chief. Yeah. And that's what I told people too, because like I said, there's some people that received some threats. And I told them, I said, here's one thing that you can be rest assured. The town of Braswell has a good flock camera system. So if that person's making threats to you, they're on camera.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So if anything happens, GBI needs to be notified, and we need to pull our camera work. And I guarantee you already know it too. If anything happened though, that footage will be.
Oh yeah, it'll be.
Our flock system was having issues at that date at that time.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't like them cops when they get caught doing something. Oh, I forgot to turn my body camera on.
Yeah.
Oh, don't give me that bull crap.
It would be the same thing here, 100%. They would say, oh, ever since the chief got fired for his corrupt, viewing of the flock system, we've had it on lockdown. They'll come up with something.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be dead.
But
hanging out on the side of the tree.
We're going to try to do this every Sunday night from here on out and getting it out on Monday morning. I'll have this out tomorrow at some point.
Okay.
It takes about 2 or 3 hours we do this on Google Meet, because I've tried doing it on the professional podcast sites and all that stuff. And
just not as good.
Well, it's Google does it all for you. They render it. They get the transcript for you and everything.
Closed caption and everything.
What our purpose is, Google's the best way. Google Meet's the best way to do it. Or Zoom or somewhere Google's better than Zoom. And now all I got to do is get it, and I just got to convert it, shrink the file down, and get it on the pocket. Where if you do the professional stuff, I've downloaded all that and toyed around with. It's not like we're got a syndicated show where we're on 15 networks or something. And, you got to have the good intro music and all that. Now,
dun, dun, dun.
Now, if we were doing all that stuff, we'd have to go to another platform. But, it takes Google a couple of hours to render the video and get the transcript out. And then, then I can shrink it down and upload it to YouTube and all that. It takes 2 or 3 hours. So I should have it up by lunch tomorrow.
Sweet.
Hopefully. And if we can start doing these every Sunday night, we can get in a routine, because when we started this last fall, we had holidays coming up and Thanksgivings and
elections and
different things. And now we need to have it every week consistently. So, because we got a big election coming up in May.
I say we need to get Corey on here.
And we're going starting in, we can't, I think they got to qualify by the end of March or early April. And because the election's not the May 19th.
Well, we need to find out from Corey and then put the fake date out there. 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Qualifying is on this date. Dude shows up. That was 2 weeks ago, brother.
And then what we'll do is we'll have Corey on. We're gonna try to have Tyler on. We'll have Steve Gailey on, who's running for District 3. We'll try to get Greg Poole on. We'll try to get Sam Cavulia. We're gonna try to have all the candidates on, and at some point,
hell, we can get the food judge on here too, Brakefield.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what he thinks about some grilled chicken nuggets or something.
And eventually,
maybe Jerry too, sheriff-elect.
yeah, we'll have Jerry on. He'll come on, and then we'll have we're gonna have Jody back on, and eventually
We might even have Donald Trump. No,
it'd be we'd have. I want to try to get together and have.
Please let Viral back in the country. He'll take down his tweets.
Oh goodness, Viral is stuck in India because
of a Facebook post.
But yeah, well, hopefully we can have a couple of candidates on at the same time and let them talk about their similarities and their differences, and
that'd be cool.
You know, not really a debate, just like a
intro,
like a round table.
Yep. Yeah, you know, that's what it was at Chateau Del Webb the other night. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a debate. It's just an introduction.
And if we do it, it won't be on Google Meet. We'll meet it like in person and set up a video camera, and you know, we'll all be sitting at the table, and you know, we'll just have like a round table and just talk about our that's the easiest way
to get
our differences and what, you know, let the candidates talk about what they agree on, what they differ. That's the best way to get it out of them instead of having a debate.
Yep.
Debate, they get pointed, they want to attack each other. That ain't what we want.
No, we need to get a
round table up, get all those District 3 people up.
But we need to get a good baseline of questions.
Oh,
just good generic. Like we said, leave the far left and right topics out, because like I said, that's on the national level. That's nothing they can control. Let's get down to local questions and local issues and see where they stand.
And I'm gonna let these people know that when I post the video, I'm not gonna edit it. I'm not gonna cut anything out.
Okay. Yeah.
It's gonna be in there just like it was videotaped, because I don't want people accusing me or you or Viral or anybody saying, hey, they edited this. That's not what I said. By God, no. It's going to be the whole video, and it's not, you know.
See, here's the thing. We could. And we got every right to. Just like any. Yep. Because I'm no longer running for anything. So us citizens as campaign managers or even friends, we can edit anything we want under the sun and post it to make one person look bad or one person look worse.
And I'm not going to do it because it's unethical as hell.
But and here's the thing, I agree with you. And you know, if you've seen those videos, I was able to get those up in Vicky's group. Luckily, dude, that was pain too, I'm telling you. But the way I filmed it was, like you said, I'm not doing any biasing when I'm filming or reporting. It's just, here's these two gentlemen talking, and I put whoever's talking's name first in the caption. So when Corey's talking first, I got Corey versus Mark Turner. When Mark Turner's talking, it's Mark Turner versus Corey. I try to be as fair. I don't put any comments down below like, hey, there's our man. I didn't say nothing. That way.
If you want to, you can load them up to the North Georgia Advocate YouTube. And
no, I will. Like I said, I saved those from being downloaded. Because
and that way you'll have them. And if you want to put them anywhere, you don't got to upload them. You can just use the link.
Hey, remember I sent you that screenshot the other day where I was trying to send it just through our direct message and wouldn't even. Yeah, so I mean, I know my damn memory.
The videos get big, so
it's probably just my memory on my phone though. Probably wouldn't let me send it clearly.
Yeah, and the software, that's an older. It ain't but a couple of years old, but the way that as quick as software
changes,
it increases and changes so quick that it makes a big difference. So, but well, I appreciate it. And we will be back next Sunday. Monday, if you're going to be listening to it. But we'll record this again next Sunday night, and we'll go from there. And I appreciate it. And anything you want to say going out?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty good. You?
Yeah. No, I think we covered everything for the most part. I've got a big article I'm fixing to start writing on the water issue we had talked about before, that guy that had all that 1.5 million pounds of dirt washing in the Lake Lanier and everything. And I'm waiting on emails from the guy who brought it to me from the county and the Corps and all that, because I want to know how bad they told him to pound sand and who's behind it. And he's giving me the synopsis, and it's wrong. Is what it is, and it's.
Well, what was it? Just dirt?
It's 1.5 million pounds of field dirt. He was going to bury a 10-inch drain line to get water off his property. Ended up bringing in 1.5 million pounds of dirt to level up his backyard. No silt fences, no nothing. And every time it rained, it washed all in Lake Lanier. And county wouldn't do nothing about it. The Corps wouldn't do nothing about it. They kept putting it off on each other, and it's a big mess. I thought I'll forward you the information on all of it. And it's wild, man.
Yeah, man, I keep hearing all kinds of different rumors about the lake.
And it's just crazy. And the county won't do nothing. We've been working on it for about 6 months, and we can't get nowhere. So now it's time to write a big article about it and then alert all the news stations about it.
Well, see, here's the thing. Corey always brings up the fact that the Hall County Planning Commission got that $65,000 a year water bottle budget for bottled water. And I said, here's the thing now. With all the developments, how long have they? I mean, he knows how long they've been buying bottled water, but back then when they started buying $65,000 a year in bottled water, how do we know somebody else didn't tell them I wouldn't be drinking that if I were you? I mean, because they're the ones that know what's getting built around here. They know what's going up. They know what's getting up. They know what's getting demolitioned around the lake. They know all this stuff. So if any of these, not saying informants, but any of these inspectors or enforcers go out and check it out and come to the property, how are we to say they didn't come back and tell the commissioners, hey, y'all might want to have bottled water at home, your office, because I wouldn't drink anything that comes out of there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's not good. There's a possibility of that. Look at Flint, Michigan. You know, the city officials up there, when that went down, those city officials were drinking bottled water. They knew the water was filled with toxins and lead and all kinds of poisons that were.
Yeah, you don't put nothing past government people.
No, I don't. I don't trust none of them anymore.
No, but we'll get into this more next week.
Even myself.
And I'll send you over all this stuff. I thought I'd done sent it, but I may not have.
I'll have to check. I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know. My brain's in about 100 different ways right now, 100 different directions. But I'll send it over again, and you can look at it, and we'll get into it more next week. But
that'll work.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good week, and we will be back next week and try to catch you up on everything that's going on.
Yep. Mm-hmm. If y'all are off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, have a good, respectful day off. And
yes, indeed. Have that extra day off, and thank goodness we didn't get snow like South Georgia did. They got hammered down there 3 to 4 inches in some areas.
So you consider 3 to 4 inches a hammer?
That is in South Georgia. Last time it snowed big down there, it was 93 when I was down there. We got 2 inches, shut town down for a week.
I might need to move down to South Georgia if they consider that a hammer.
I know. Tell me about it. So, all right. We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, you probably lost a few viewers off that.
No doubt. All right. Later.
All right. See you, brother.